Coming up on the Art Marketing Podcast, we're talking about the 3 ways you can grow your business, merchandising and multiple revenue sources, and how properly executed merchandising can be a massive lever for growth in your business. So what are the 3 ways that you can grow your business? You've likely heard me rant about this on the podcast before. Number one way, the one most everybody focuses on is for you to get more customers. Really? To get more customers into the door of your business. That's the number 1 way. The number 2 way is AOV, which stands for average order value. So you increase the dollar amount of the sale that you do make. And there's a number of ways to do that. The age-old marketing example, the one in the textbooks, do you want fries with that? Instead of just a burger, they're now getting a burger and fries. And so the AOV, the average order value, goes up. And by the way, quick throwback to the last episode. What is marketing? A possible definition, anyway. You can get attention and you have an ask. Do you want fries with that? You have their attention. They're right there. You make an ask for fries. Worst thing that can happen is they say no. Many end up saying yes. The number 3 way is repeat business. So you get your customers to come back and purchase from you again. And, if you're working on growing your business currently, whether you are explicitly focused on it or not, by definition, you're working on one of these 3 levers to drive growth and more sales in your business to make more money. And merchandising is a big deal. It's a word that encompasses a lot, but brands go to great lengths to properly execute on it. It's why all the shops on Fifth Avenue spend so much money on their windows displays. It's why oftentimes you see the photo of the new Porsche and there's a beautiful looking lady or man driving it, or a beautiful looking person sitting next to the one that's driving it. It's why at Art Storefronts, we spend so much time creating our wall preview tool, our media types browser, and the AR feature for the websites. Turns out, we humans are extremely visual creatures. And so if you can help sort things for us visually, how cool we might look in the new suit, how if we get that car, we'll immediately have a beautiful human on our arm sitting next to us right afterwards. And yes, when a customer can visualize a piece of art on their wall, they are certainly one step closer to buying it. And so I love merchandising. It's a big deal. And I think the genesis of this episode came from a few different places. Number 1, it all dovetails with a huge new project I'm working on at Art Storefronts, but I'm going to get into that later. But merchandising, and specifically a proper presentation of an artist or photographer's offerings, is a pet peeve of mine. It just is. It's more than a pet peeve. It's a serious irk. It's a frustration. It grinds my gears. Why? Most photographers and artists spend little time thinking about it. Those that do either do a half you-know-what job of doing it or don't do it enough. And dagnabbit, I'm scratching my own itch here too. I'm incredibly passionate about merchandising personally. I understand all too well it is such a lever to drive business. It's huge. If you go back a fefew episodes, I can't remember what number it was, but it was a way back, on the contest we ran in Messenger with Matthew Luck. I feel like I'm always talking about Messenger, but I am. If any of you got into the bot and saw his presentation, what did you see? And don't worry, if you didn't see it, you didn't catch it. I'll throw a link in the show notes. You can see it if you like. But in it was a video, and Matthew was giving away 3 prints. And what did he have in his hand? He had the print, well, actually even before that, because it was Q4 around Christmas time. I actually had him take the box, put the print in the box, the way it arrives at your house, have the entire thing wrapped in wrapping paper with a bow on it that he custom painted on. The presentation on this thing looked absolutely beautiful. In the video, he unwraps it. He unboxes it. Unboxing is a thing on the internet, by the way. Search YouTube. And in there, it's like a serious thing. People love watch people unboxing the newest tech gadget is a thing. People pull it out and talk about all this stuff. Whatever. Just tangent over. He took it out of the package. It was beautifully wrapped. He unboxed it. He took the print out. He held it up to the light. He turned it sideways. You got to see the light dance off of it. You got to see how amazing a metal print was. And this was right ahead of Q4 again. So as a result of this, his sales were quite well. People were able to visualize. The whole idea of that exercise is that the merchandising was in place. People were able to visualize what it looked like under the tree, what it might look like wrapped up, what the reaction might be. They got to feel what the reaction might be of a loved one potentially going through this unwrapping and seeing this, holding up this beautiful print that's ready to hang, looking at it, the light kissing off of it. And what was the result of that exercise? The contest was a big success. The contest was a big success, and he had a great Q4. Now, when you properly merchandise things, you really do. You help your customers visualize what it might look like. And it's such an important part of the buying process. I talk about pet peeves, right? I'm scratching my own itch here. One of my best friend's wives is like our local and resident portrait photog. And she's got a really solid gig going on. She gets her place around town, finds some sort of outdoor place around town, nails the light. She knows exactly what the light's going to do at what time of day. She knows exactly what she's working with. And then, I feel like it's 3 times a year we're doing this. There's the Christmas card, and then she scheduled some sort of March, Easter, spring photo shoot, whatever. And then there's like a fall Halloween shoot as well. And literally my entire peer group and extended peer group buy these sessions. We all get our kids dressed up in whatever ridiculous thing it might be. We march our kiddos down there. She shoots them. We get a nice gallery after the fact. Jessica, her name is, I call her Jess. So the photos come out amazing. That part is great. We get an incredible gallery of digital images that get thrown in a folder, Google Photos, whatever you do with it, and that's where it sits. You know what's not great? The sheer and profound amount of money she is leaving on the table every time she does this. You know what I see in these shoots? Every single one of my friends books her and then shares the photos on social media. Look at this little cuddle muffin, cute cuddle muffin. My heart melts. Thanks, Jess Photo, or whatever her Instagram handle is. You know what I don't see? Every weekend for a kid's birthday, or I'm wet, and when I'm at any of my friends' houses, are big, beautiful photos of the aforementioned cuddle muffins, big and beautiful, hanging on the wall, printed in metal or acrylic or canvas or whatever it may be. And you want to know why not? Because Jess likes to sail to her shoots in her lovely 43-foot motor yacht named the SS Failboat. She is utterly, totally, and completely failing in her merchandising. Moreover, again, what is marketing? It's getting attention and having an ask. And Jess is not asking. Also, what are the 3 different levers to grow your business? More customers. She's got that part sorted. Repeat business. She has that part sorted. I mean, there's like 50, 60 families that go through this thing on like a 2-day, 3-day period, whatever she does. AOV though, average order value, epic fail for her. Epic fail. Now, sidebar, she and I discussed this at length, and I think I'm winning her over, but it's a whole different argument. Let's talk about the prints for a moment. Yes, I realize this will not apply to all of you, but I certainly wish it did. It's no easy task at all making it as an artist or a photographer out there today. It just isn't. See this all the time. There's a tremendous amount of competition. It's hard to find buyers. You only have 24 hours a day to create and service your business. So how do you hedge against these things as an artist or a photographer? Multiple different revenue sources is a big deal. Multiple different revenue sources. In Jessica's case, her only revenue source is the service portion of the business. So all these families lined up paying the whatever it is, the $300 or $400 per session to get this stuff done. That's it. That's her revenue source. And so for photographers, this is just such an easy and a common one, right? We have customers that teach classes on how to shoot, some that have a hybrid-based service-based business and sell fine art, some that shoot, sell fine art, run a gallery, and they do the printing. On the artist side, we see it a ton too. You sell different types of merch, or you teach classes, or you market for artists on the side. But the big picture is if you want to make it, you really want to thrive. And oftentimes, let's be honest, out of sheer necessity, you need these additional revenue sources to pay your bills, all the way to like really thriving and diversifying your business. When you're set up as an artist or a photographer and you're completely reliant upon one revenue source, it is difficult. It's extremely difficult. There is an extremely low probability of success, depending on how you define it, for those types of business models. If you're just selling originals, you better be pretty good at selling originals, and you better be selling a lot of them, and you better be producing a lot of them and selling them at a high clip to really do well. But when you start looking at these businesses, and again, I say this all the time, but we've been in business for long enough that I get to see which artists, which photographers are really kicking butt. And a common theme, a common thread throughout all of them is the additional revenue sources, whatever they may be, cooked into their business. It gives you diversification. It gives you time to grow these additional revenue sources while you perhaps continue to nurture your main revenue source. It's just a great way to do things, to look at things. And I think it's so incredibly important. And it's why offering prints is such an important move. The additional revenue it can generate can be tremendous. And moreover, The bump in AOV, lever number 2, average order value it presents is tremendous as well. It just is. And I get it. Oh, Patrick, that's rich. One of the things that you guys offer is print on demand, and you're just getting me to sign up with you and do printing. No, I don't care who you sign up with. I don't care where you do the printing. Add printing to your business as another revenue source is an absolute no-brainer. Don't even get me started on photographers because they're prints naturally. But for the artist, you've got to get your work photographed. Start out by doing limited editions if you like, or go right into limited editions and the prints, but at least experiment with this concept of having additional pillars of revenue for your business. It's always a good idea, almost always. Now, the biggest elephant in the room for all of this, and for most consumers out there, and I would say, of course, like we're humans, we're visual creatures, we need to be able to visualize things. This applies tremendously to the whole print argument, but most consumers, the biggest elephant, most consumers have absolutely no idea of the various different media types that exist out there that your work can be printed on. Most don't know the difference or potentially know what it looks like or have ever held what a print looks like on art paper, what it looks like on canvas. Most even know that metal is a thing or what it looks like or the fact it's ready to hang, let alone acrylic prints. Have you seen how insane the acrylic prints look, by the way? They're amazing. So the only way your customer is ever going to know is if you educate them. The only way your customer will ever know is if you help them visualize them. And the only way your customer will ever know is if you offer them in the first place. So I think as we talk about prints, as we talk about an additional revenue service, as we talk about visualization, all of it ties together. All of it ties together. Let's go back to Jess for a second. What normally happens in those photo shoot situations? The women folk, in this case my wife, are normally enlisted in the child wardrobe department / make sure the obstreperous tyrants don't run out of frame department. They're distracting them, getting them to smile, all the rest. What do the men normally do? We're normally sitting in the background, checking our phone, and occasionally popping our heads in for a quick, great job, boys, great job, girls, you're doing fantastic, and then back to the phone. Do you know what I could be doing? Instead of that, I could be headed over to a nice little table that Jess forgot to set up. It would be a table stand, and on that table, or a table and some stands, and on that table would be the various different media types on offer. While Jess is shooting, her assistant would be showing me the different media types, what's great about each of them, how they look in the light, what sizes are on offer, handing me a price sheet, letting me know the special time-sensitive packages that are on offer for just to shoot this time, act now, or it's gone. Perhaps it's a BOGO, buy one, get one free. Or there is a Mother's Day special package, or the grandma needs some photogs of grandkids package, or the landing to your second story needs kiddo photos packages. Who might kid? I live in a one-story house. But anyway, there could have been all of that on offer. I would put the table just out of earshot of Jess too, and let her assistants know that the package deals expire on such and such date. But don't worry, Patrick. If you can't decide, we'll email you ahead of Mother's Day and ahead of Christmas too. And if you put your wife's birthday down on this sheet, ahead of your wife's birthday too. If you ever need a last minute gift idea, we get it. You dads like to procrastinate. Does that work for you, Patrick? See how I asked permission to send you sales material and make your life easier? Oh, what's that? You want to go ahead and get one now? That's great. Jess's assistant pulls out the credit card reader on her phone, and I have just parted with some of my hard-earned dollars, and I'm thrilled about it. I'm not going to have to go set foot in a mall parking lot. I'm not going to have to deal with parking. I'm not going to have to walk around, the awkward conversations. I'm going to get my mother-in-law or whatever to cover that blank wall space. I hate going to malls. We usually hate going to malls, men do. So the kids grow up so fast. It'd be great to have their photo there on that wall. She's missing on all of that. Sounds amazing, right? Not for Jess, it's not. When she is done with her shoot, she does not pack up that imaginary table or her assistant or the different media types and load them into the sailboat to go home because she's not doing any of it. If she would likely 3 to 5x the revenue she is earning on these shoots in her business, let alone the repeat business later down the line I alluded to, the third way to grow your business. And she would also have to change the name on the back of the boat if she did. It wouldn't be the sailboat anymore. And so I think through that situation and that particular issue for me and how frustrated I get by that. Like I would buy. Not only would I buy, I'd buy again. Not only would I buy and would I buy again, you have permission to market to me in perpetuity with my personal image gallery every single solitary ahead of Mother's Day, last minute gift idea. Did you get it? Ahead of Christmas, last minute gift idea. Did you get it? Like wife's birthday is coming up. Do you have anything? Do you want to add this to it? What about mother-in-law, father-in-law, grandma, grandpa? Do they need something on their wall? Because we've got some beautiful images of your kids. Like, look at all of that, of this additional revenue source that is possible just by asking. What is marketing? Getting attention and having an ask. And Jess is just not asking. She's not asking. So I ran all over the place with this one. Where does it leave you? At a macro and at a micro. I think at a macro, you need to think about additional revenue sources you can add to your business. Prints, without question, prints, limited editions, reproductions, whatever you want to call them, offer an amazing way of doing this. And many of you are not doing it. Those that are often do not think about how to merchandise them or display them or educate their customers, especially offer a range of choices, all of which Jess could have done at that table, all of which she could have done. I think very few are taking full advantage of all the opportunities to simply ask for the order. They have the attention, but are failing at the ask, right? All she had to do was set up that table. If she would have just set up that table and had an assistant there to man it, it would have worked itself out. And AOV is one of the best, the absolute best ways to grow your business. Why? In contrast to the others, it often takes the least amount of effort. You got the attention, the hard part. It is so hard getting the attention. It is so hard acquiring that customer for the first time, and not just for artists or photographers, for everybody. So when you have the attention, the hard part is sorted. So reach out and grab that beautiful butterfly. It's right there. Go for the ask. Let's talk micro. That sort of sums up all the points of all the rants I made in this thing. But let's talk micro. This is not a one-size-fits-all podcast. This cap is adjustable. For you service-based photographers, and I think this applies across the board, your attaché case of prints on the different media types should have just became your don't leave home without it case. First, you pick some great subject images that fit your niche, whatever you're doing. You order all of the options. Trust me, you can't afford not to do this. A range of sizes, and you show them. Don't try and outsmart your customers either. We're smarter than you are. We know what we like better than you do. Don't like how your work looks on canvas? Who cares? Who cares? See if your customers do. Order the range. Order the range. Educate your customers. Educate me on what they look like. Help me to visualize them on my wall. Help me get one step closer to buying them. Let me know how amazing of a gift they are, and just display them. Just do this. For you artists, the same set of rules applies. If you're not offering them now, then consider it. If you don't have the full suite of options, then order them. Display them. If you feel you have to drop one later, you don't want it like what it looks like aesthetically, that's easy. You can drop one, but you can order them and you can have them and showing them wherever you are, And if you're an artist or a photographer, like think back to episode 1 or 2 of this podcast with Kim Virgil, if you've been listening for that long. If you're going to go deliver a print or an original to a customer, then make sure, you come with your other stuff, with your don't leave it home without it attaché case of prints, or even other originals. If you're never going to do prints, show them what's possible. Show me what's possible. Come to hang something in my house that I purchased from you. Show me other options. Let me go put them on the wall. Let me think about it. Like, the visualization is just so key. And if you're an artist, and say, I'll use another podcast guy that I talk about all the time, Matthew Locke, that I mentioned earlier, for what he paints in this crazy impasto that's like 3-dimensional, pops up the canvas. It takes like 3 weeks. It takes like 2 months for his prints to dry because it's so thick. The prints for him, while great and they sell, are never going to be able to truly capture how the paint pops off the canvas in 3 dimensions. So if you're him, or if you're me, I should say, I've been needling him for over a year and saying, here's what you're going to do. You're going to buy canvas prints and you're going to start painting on top of them. You're going to have a hybrid product that's part print and part original. He does that now. He calls them oil on prints, and he's already sold a fantastic clip of them. He's selling an additional revenue source that he did not have before. He's essentially almost doubled the inventory in his store, notwithstanding the originals, but with the prints. He's 100% doubled the inventory in his store. And he's got some great merchandising ability now with the new ability to show these things in 3 dimensions and everything else. So wherever you are in your business, photographer, artist, the multiple revenue sources, so key. AOV, so key. The prints, whether they're limited editions or reproductions, whatever you want to call them, however you want to do them, are such a fantastic benefit. It is such a great way to diversify your business. You are leaving money on the table by not having them, by not thinking through the situations that are unique to you, where you can display them and show them, and let your potential customers touch them, feel them, look at them, and help them to visualize them on your wall. On your wall. How you go about it is up to you. For every niche, I really believe there are opportunities to adjust things for taste to how you want to do it. And yes, maintain whatever degree of artistic integrity you feel you need to have over the finished product. But you need to be thinking about all three levers, and especially AOV and repeat business. They're often two levers that get the least attention. Everybody's laser focused on just acquiring customers, not ever AOV and not ever repeat business. You need to educate your customers. I'm just summing up again, going through my bullet points, but you need to educate your customers. We're visual people. We had no idea all of these media types are available. We had no idea that they existed. We had no idea how amazing they look. And we have no idea because we never see them on any of our friends' walls because you're not bringing your table and setting it up. So in summation, you got to focus on your merchandising. It's a huge, huge, multifaceted, multi-headed hydra of a lever. It can benefit your business in so many ways. If you're enjoying the podcast, hopefully getting value out of it, I would be extremely grateful if you left us a review anywhere you listen to podcasts. On that note, thanks for listening. And as always, have a great day.